If you can go to bed tonight knowing that you are a role model to one younger musician, mate, you've done your job perfectly. I love that.
Fuck yeah. Mark, what's going on?
What I find interesting is with all the support we have and all the people asking about Steve and Kelly, and I got a shout out to Scott and Kurt, also of Riley's LA Guns. They really are superb human beings. These guys are role models. About rock and roll isn't about always throwing your TV out the window. Rock and roll isn't about causing controversy or pissing on stage or turning up and blowing up your guitar and smashing it and turning on fire. That's all cool. That's an element. I've got no problem with that. Real longevity in this business is about being a nice guy, and being a role model really is a magnificent feeling when you know you've got bands and artists like that on your label, that they're living their life with integrity, they're living their life as authentic musicians, and they're out there doing their thing. They're not putting shit on other people, they're not trying to make excuses, they're just trying to do what's right. And you know what? When they turn in an album like this, that's the talking they need to do. They talk about the nicest guys in rock and roll, and I've dealt with some amazing people. I've got to say, I'm very humbled and I'm very happy to deal with the likes of Frank Farrar from Guns N' Roses, Steve Stevens, Gilby Clarke. The list goes on and on and on of nice guys in rock and roll. I remember years ago being in Los Angeles with my son, and the drum tech of Dave Grohl pulled us aside and we were talking about different things, and he said, why do you think Taylor Hawkins got the job with Foo Fighters? And he said, he was speaking to Jagger, and he said, the reason he got the job was not necessarily because he was the best drummer. He got the job because he's the nicest guy. So when you're spending 15 hours in the back of a van or the back of a plane or the back of a car or whatever with a certain individual for that long, and you're on tour for months and months and months or weeks and weeks and weeks, you want to be with the nicest possible people. And again, that's why I think people like Steve Riley and Kelly Nichols have survived so long in this industry, is because they're nice guys. They don't need to talk and put people down and cause dramas. They don't do that. They do all their talking here, man. And that's what rock and roll is about. Rock and roll is about a message. And Steve Riley and Kelly Nichols of Riley's LA Guns, along with Kurt and Scott, deliver a real positive message. And you've got to watch what these guys have done over the last 12 to 18 months. There's been heaps of controversy, there's been heaps of different things going on, but these guys were never ever negative. They were never negative. They always held their head high. They always spoke well in the press, and they always did the right thing. If you can go to bed tonight knowing that you are a role model to one younger musician, mate, you've done your job perfectly. I love that.
Fuck yeah.
On my label, they're the kind of band that are setting the precedent. You look at the 450 articles that we did for those guys, and not one time did they ever put shit on anybody else. Not one time did they ever be negative. That's the kind of band young bands should look up to. That's the kind of band they should be looking to. Positive role models in this society. No negativity. That's the kind of band I want to associate myself with over the next few